may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Alright guys, y'all know I have continued to ask y'all to go down to that comment section and let me know what videos y'all would like to see next. And overwhelmingly, y'all told me you wanted more strategy videos. You told me you wanted to go over what punting was and how you can use it in your fantasy football drafts to get an advantage over your league mates. And real quick guys, I'll say honestly, this may be why fantasy basketball is a little bit more interesting than fantasy football, in that I definitely prefer football more, but it's just a lot easier. And then fantasy basketball on the other hand is a lot more complicated. There's a lot more strategy to go behind it, because here with basketball, you don't really have a set ADP that you can just draft from. You can get an advantage over your league mates by understanding that if you punt one category, such as free throws, you can completely change the evaluations of players throughout your fantasy draft, and you can go out there and take players at a value compared to what they will be able to do for your roster. Alright, well that's it. Let's get into it. And guys, whenever you are punting a category for your fantasy team, what you are doing is you are saying, you know what? I am, instead of going to be balanced across every single category, I am just going to completely give up on free throws. I'm just going to completely give up on assists. During this video, we're going to focus in on free throws and what players you can draft to punt. And the reasoning that this is a successful strategy, if you can pull it off how it's meant to be, is we know if you are going to be ignoring the free throw percentage for players throughout your draft, you are going to be able to take guys that are going to be scoring a ridiculous amount of points, assists, rebounds, field goal percentage, sometimes threes, not really, and defensive statistics at the same time. So just look at a perfect example of a player like a Giannis Antetokounmpo. Okay, I think if you would just take out free throws from the equation, if you would just look at points scored, assist for the position, rebounds, as well as field goal percentage and the defensive statistics that he brings, you could easily make the argument that Giannis is the most valuable player in fantasy basketball. Whereas if you were taking free throws into consideration there, you're going to be valuing a James Harden a little bit higher. You're going to be evaluating an Anthony Davis a little bit higher. Whereas so if you are picking in the mid first round and you're not able to get an Anthony Davis, you're not able to get a James Harden, what you can do is you can take Giannis, and based on the rest of your team construction, you can make him the most valuable player in fantasy basketball. And that is by making sure that you are going to dominate your league mates at points, rebounds, assists, field goal percentage, threes, blocks, steals. And yeah, let's get into players that you can do this with. And let's go position by position. I'm just going to break this down as guards, small forwards, and centers because of the overlap. I don't really want to be talking about players more than once. But at the point guard position, guys that really pop off the page as guys that are going to be able to bring you significant amount of value at every category but free throws is going to be Lonzo Ball, Ben Simmons, LeBron, De'Aaron Fox, and John Wall. Okay, the perfect example here is going to be a Ben Simmons. If you're taking Ben Simmons, honestly, you can go ahead and you can punt threes as well. But Ben Simmons is going in the middle rounds of fantasy drafts this year. And if you would take free throw percentage as well as threes out of the equation, I mean, clearly Ben Simmons is a much better option than some of the other players going ahead of him. And that's why this strategy is so valuable. This strategy is valuable because you are changing the value of the players. So even if you take a player either at their ADP or a little bit ahead of their ADP, in reality, you could be getting a massive value on that player. And let's go to the small forward position real quick. And here we have a RJ Barrett, we have a PJ Washington, a LeBron James, an Aaron Gordon, an Andrew Wiggins, and a Giannis Antetokounmpo. And yeah, same sentiment here. I mean, just like what we said with Giannis. Or look at Andrew Wiggins as a little bit of a better example. While yes, he's going to be putting up a significant amount of points for your lineup considering the round that you're going to be drafting him in, but we know that the efficiency is not necessarily going to be there. So if you're constructing your roster where efficiency doesn't matter, I mean, you're just forcing value in your hand. I mean, the same thing at center here. You're going to go with a Clint Capella, an Andre Drummond, a Mitchell Robinson, a Rudy Gobert, a Jarrett Allen, and a Hassan Whiteside. I mean, here, Andre Drummond, I mean, possibly leading the NBA in rebounds. And you're going to be able to get him later on in your fantasy draft over players that are going to most likely be outscored by him, get less blocks than him, and get less rebounds than him. all because of the free throw percentage that he's going to give you. So I will say, if you are considering punting a category like free throw percentage, you could also consider pairing that punt category with 3-pointers, just because we know this is going to overlap a considerable amount. And this is how you're going to build a team that could potentially be a juggernaut. But I want to let everyone know, this is not a strategy for your leagues where you're just getting a raw number of points for players at the end of the week. This is not a strategy where it's an play all league, where you play every single person on a week-to-week basis, and then you go out there and then you get points depending on where you're in the standings in each category. That is not where you can punt. Punting is specifically for the leagues where it's head-to-head matchups and it's categorical based. That way you can go out there and say you have 9 categories. You can make sure you go, you know what? 2 of these categories I'm just going to give up on. I'm just going to wave the white flag. But what that is going to do is it's going to make me so strong at the other 7 categories that I am almost impossible to beat, that I'm going to be consistently out rebounding, getting more points, scoring more assists than my opponents. And at the end of the day, I'm going to have a lot of wins that are 5-4 categories, 6-3 categories, not many wins that are 9-0, 8-1. But really, that doesn't matter anyway. You're just trying to get that overall W, no matter how drastic the win is. A win is a win in that type of format. All right, now, thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really hope it helped y'all out. As always, go down there, drop that like, leave that comment, subscribe to the channel. Really, really helps us out. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Let me know what video y'all would like to see next. I'm having a lot of fun diving into fantasy basketball, and I'm going to continue to do so for y'all.